First, Interior Minister Muntaka Mubarak has instructed the Inspector General of Police, Christian Tete-Yohonu, to transfer all police commanders, including regional and district commanders, currently serving in areas affected by the illegal mining menace. Now, this directive, announced during a meeting with imams in the Ashanti region on Thursday, underscores the government's quest to combat galamsey, a persistent challenge that has severely impacted the environment. The minister's order is a response to growing concerns that local police leadership in some of the affected regions have been failed in inadequately addressing the illegal mining crisis.
Police
I have informed the IGP that every police commander in Galamsey affected areas should be replaced with new ones. I am not saying they are complicit, but they have been there for too long without the... resource. If any of them from these areas approaches you to plead on their behalf to prevent their removal, do not entertain it.
Meanwhile, the Interior Minister has also sounded alarm on the use of the prisons in drug trafficking. According to Muntaka Mubarak, the lack of proper security and surveillance infrastructure has turned the prisons into hotspots for illicit trading, particularly drug trafficking.
It's very shameful to say this, that we don't have even X-ray scanners in our prisons. So our prisons have become a center for drug trafficking because people who go in and out, there's no way, you just do hand search, and hand search is not enough for you to be able to deter people. You need to have X-ray scanners. So as people walk into the prison and walk out, you'll be able to tell what they are carrying in and what they are carrying out. Because we lack this, our prisons now become center where they trade in drugs as if it's in the open market. And this is something that is a danger to all of us. What are we doing about this? We are trying to introduce technology where we try to get these scanners. We put CCTV cameras across our prisons, so I'll be able to watch what is happening into the prison. But this is not enough. Feeding is even a problem. And as you might have heard me say, since 2011, we've been feeding our prisoners with 1 cedi, 80 pesos a day. Even school feeding, where we give our children just one meal, it's just been increased to 2 cedis. And yet we keep adult prisoners and we feed them 3 meals at 1 Ghana cedi, 80 pesos. I simply ask, even the pets that we have in our homes, how much do we feed them with?
The Deputy Director of Arocha Ghana, Ofosu, has welcomed the decision by Interior Minister Muntaka Mubarak to transfer police commanders currently serving in areas affected by the illegal mining menace. He says a change in police hierarchy in these areas will bring some freshness to the fight against illegal mining. He spoke on News Desk earlier.
Say that this is a very welcome news. I mean, 3 weeks or a month ago, we were in a press conference where we actually called for some key commanders within the Chebe area to be removed. And I think it all boils down to the fact that we believe that if we are going to really make significant strides in the fight against galamsey, then it beholds on us that we make sure the agencies that are responsible for enforcement and compliance are really held accountable for what is happening, because we have seen that if you look at the entire value chain of the mining regime in this country, the biggest link, the missing link here is we having a very robust law enforcement regime that ensures that everybody who has a concession is doing the right thing, and those who don't have any mining license, who have no rights to mine anywhere, don't get into the ground. So I think that is a very, very good call, and I even like the fact that he says that If in 3 months you are not performing, they are going to change you. And I think this should have been the way to go from long ago, and it's not too late. And I must say, it's going to be one of the key strategies that could really significantly change the way we fight galamsey going forward.
Meanwhile, 7 individuals have been remanded to police custody after they were arraigned before the Special Court for Illegal Mining at Sekondi for conspiracy and mining without a license. They are to reappear on April 17, 2025. Also, 2 Chinese nationals, one Quanzhan and Lingyon, were arrested for illegal mining along the Bonsa River and handed over to the Ghana Immigration Service. Security analyst Dr. Victor Doke says the burden of proof in clarifying the activities and claims linking to 2 aircraft that transited in Accra some days ago to drug activities falls solely on the ranking of the Interior and Defense Committee in Parliament, Reverend John Ntim-Fojo. The government has meanwhile refuted the claims. Here is Ofosu Kwakye, spokesperson for government.
As they exist, vary completely from the claims that he made. When he made that claim, he was only seeking to peddle falsehood in a bid to undermine the confidence that the people of Ghana have in this government. The truth is that 2 aircrafts with completely different purposes arrived in Ghana, and their arrival was perfectly legitimate, and they were here for very genuine reasons. The first one is an Antonov Flight 12BK with registration number CVK 7037. Now, this flight essentially is a cargo plane which arrived on the 12th of March 2025. Now, no plane arrives in Ghana without a landing permit. So this plane secured a landing permit with number GAF/TMAO/25/7863. Now, the purpose for arriving in Ghana was what we call a technical stop. Essentially, this is a cargo flight that was destined for the European Union market. And European Union regulations dictate that some specific regulatory requirements be met before any plane of that sort can enter the EU. Now, this plane originated from Luanda in Angola. It was loaded with oil drill equipment and lubricant oil, which were contained in jerrycans. It was headed for the EU market. Now, Luanda does not have the certification to carry out the sort of requirements that this plane had to meet before entering the EU market. Now, the specific requirement is a scanning and screening RA3 procedure, which is a requirement to enter the European Union. Rwanda doesn't have it. The Swiss cargo facility at the Kodoka International Airport has that certification, and they can do that kind of scanning. Whilst here, it developed an engine blade fault. Its engine blade was damaged, and then it was also detected that there was severe oil leakage, which required immediate attention. For that reason, a replacement aircraft, URCEZ, with registration number CVK 7007, was brought in to evacuate the cargo. The aircraft that was damaged remained here for 13 days. That is between 12 March and 25th March 2025. After it had been inspected by aviation security, officials of the Narcotic Control Commission, officials of National Security and National Intelligence Bureau.
Now, the ranking member on the Interior and Defense Committee in Parliament has rubbished explanations provided, insisting there were illicit drugs aboard the aircraft. Now, I'm going to be showing you on your screen the statement from Reverend John Ntim-Fojo. Says that my attention has been drawn to a rather disingenuous and far-fetched response from government by Kwakye-Ofosu. Now, Kwakye-Ofosu lied when he claimed I've been invited by security agencies and failed to attend upon their invitation. No security or intelligence agency has ever invited me to assist them with any information. I dare Kwakye-Ofosu to produce a copy of such invitation. I am still waiting on them to collaborate with me in Parliament to undertake President Mohammed's directive, if the directive was not mere rhetoric. Now, it continues to say, when I wrote to call for joint security briefing, which would have afforded the security and intelligence agencies the opportunity to collaborate with me and to share further information with them and receive their update on investigations conducted into the specific cases, NDC Parliamentary Caucus and the government blocked the briefing and shielded the security and intelligence agencies from accountability and denied them the opportunity to collaborate with me. What are they hiding? It's a question he's asking. Continues to say, whereas Kwakye-Ofosu confirmed my claims of the entry and departure of the 2 suspicious flights as true, the reasons provided by Kwakye-Ofosu in respect of their purpose of entry are incoherent, questionable, and cannot be taken seriously. The government has since failed to provide response to the status of the 2 containers filled with gold and currencies confiscated by the National Security on February 9. And the government has also failed to provide responses on the status of investigations made into the high-profile cocaine bust, totaling some $500 million and also $350 million and $150 million, explaining how it amounted to the $500 million. Now, in view of the above and the disingenuous response from government spokesperson, they are bent on hiding information and evading accountability. Our country cannot be allowed to be suddenly turned into a hub for cocaine and money laundering. They must come again. And that's that statement by Reverend Johnny Tim Fojo, ranking on Defense and Interior. Now, security analyst Dr. Victor Doke supports the call for an external audit of the government's report. He spoke earlier on News Desk.
I think this issue is becoming somewhat of what I see as political gimmicks, in my own words. Why do I say so? Now, you have the very reverend who has come out, first of all, with regards to stating the claims of the aircrafts coming into the territory of Ghana and then engaging in illegality, i.e. drugs and whatnot. And then you have the government machinery led by the Honorable Kwakye-Ofosu having to come out and debunk these assertions or claims. Now, before that, we heard what the President, John Dramani Mahama, said entirely with regards to how he's not going to allow Ghana's territory to be used, as a conduit for drug or any illegality. Now, when you come to these checks, when you're talking about foreign vessels or aircraft coming into the space, the Ghanaian space, you can have aircraft such as these coming into the space for various reasons, to either transport or to add goods, or in line of diverting flights, technical faults and all of that. Aircraft are allowed to dock or land here. The Honourable Minister also includes details as to what the process is. You obtain the landing certificate and all of that. Now, you come in, even when you take passenger flights, for example, those who are even supposed to go elsewhere.
Now, away from that, the Greater Accra Regional Fire Commander, ACFO2, Rashid Kwame Nasewu, has warned that fire outbreaks in markets will continue unless urgent measures are taken to prevent vendors from living cooking and storing flammable materials in these spaces. Speaking at the JoyNews National Dialogue on Fire Cycles in Ghana on Thursday, April 3, he stated that the habit of turning market into residential areas is a key factor contributing to frequent fire disasters. According to ACFO2 Nisawu, markets in Ghana are not trading hubs, but also serve as homes for many traders, a practice that significantly increases fire risk. We'll hear from the Greater Accra Fire Commander shortly, but first, here is Susanna Asabia, a victim of the Kantamanto fire. She says the use of fire in markets cannot be stopped, as some traders have turned the market into makeshift homes due to long distances to their homes. She suggests that traders who use fire in the markets must undergo proper training.
The market has turned into homes for some people. It is true. Some people stay very far. They come on Monday and leave on Saturday evening. Especially most of the women who stay very far. They think about their TNT from their house to the market every day. So if they calculate it and they calculate what they get at the market, they are losers. So they have to stay in the market. So definitely some of them will cook. And they have people who cook as their business and they sell. So what I would plead with the fire service is they should train those people for us. They should invite all those people who use fire at the market as their business. Because if you iron, you use fire. They don't use electrical. They use charcoal fire with those old-time irons. So we need them to be trained for us, because maybe that is the only thing the person also does for living. So I will plead with the fire service to let the stores have fire extinguishers. Every store. If you own a store, you should have a fire extinguisher so that if something happens, it can help us.
In the Ashanti region, the Edum and KJTR markets have had their fair share of devastating fires on lots of property. Here are some traders at KJTR narrating their audio.
For now, but 500 penny me huye. But on that bag ni be near we be na me ton. Okay. And I make them asem go for no more ya. It's mo na me see Dubai is you. Na me kana me see who say na market you. And a power pen ni be deliver car. E fa down so go fire service ni bi aba. Wakwaye omuzo mu ni suo. Amamba. Fire service wa down amamba. Me course I say I'm also saying ever more to me pack him no me call down say me call down say na me pani na more top na mutimi sane down say you would not say so mutimi fan semba it o me na go guni say and who say neighbor farm so ti amo power mutimi mba amo nya bibia ahoma ni slow amo nya obedient ntoma na esa slow
in the market.
Beginning the SO a higher kakea, but near hunu just small thing until you contact fire service phone first. Into me, I'm rushing by nobody say, can you imagine, Senna, a so neat tanking him. I am so neat tanking him, and I'm afraid I don't want to buy it. The other one I buy. I don't want to buy police need you and best support here is so a day is so near do January or top but starting beginning fire service Canadian can buy and is so there come and can 8 million spend it in Bebresa.
And the Greater Accra Fire Commander ACFO2 Rashid Kwame Nisau advocates for the implementation of proper market planning layout to ensure that market fires can be easily doused when they occur.
You say that we don't have the requisite knowledge to deal with the Ghana fires in Ghana is not true. Every electrical wire has the power that it can carry. You go and employ anybody just to tap the power for you. These are the things that will cause the fire. People, Honorable spoke about it. In Ghana, marketplaces are used for domestic purposes. When you are sleeping in the market and in the night mosquitoes are disturbing you, definitely you put on a coil. If there's light off, you put on a candle. And when you are asleep, you don't know things around you. So definitely, these are the things that are causing the fires. Until we dedicate market and say this is a dedicated market, don't allow people to come cook, sleep there, bath there, and you turn markets as their homes. We have challenges. If you watch the clip of Edum very well, as the market was going, it gets to a place, then there's an explosion. Ask yourself, what is causing that explosion? It is storage of flammables. Why are you selling dynamite in a store? A shop, why? We don't have closing time, we don't have opening time. If you watch carefully, these markets that are giving us problems are markets that are not what? Structured. I will humbly suggest that all markets should be properly what? Constructed. We should do away with going for wire boards and these plywood, and you do something small and come and sit there. No, that we should, as a system, we should try and do away with such things. Otherwise, these are the problems that will be recurring. We need to be retooled so that we can do the job and do it well. Okay. The equation is not one way. It is a two-way equation. Okay. What about the traders? Are they prepared to do the right thing? If they are not prepared to do the right thing, how we'll go and come back.
Away from fire outbreaks, the University of Health and Allied Sciences in the Volta region has appealed for collaboration to expand its vaccine research and development capacity to help secure Ghana's vaccine self-sufficiency. The university is solely dedicated to advancing healthcare delivery and seek interventions in the areas of logistics and animal and clinical facilities to advance its vaccine development agenda. Now, the Vice-Chancellor of UHAS, Professor Lydia Azeto, appealed when a team from the National Vaccine Institute, German Development Corporation, GIZ, and UNIDO and the European Union paid a courtesy call to the university.
The visit to UHAS was in aid of mobilizing local resources to help Ghana develop and manufacture AIDS vaccines. This was imperative as Ghana would attain middle-income status by 2020 and will no longer qualify for the supply and distribution of vaccines from external donors. The team toured the uncompleted lab complex and simulation center. The Vice-Chancellor of UHAS, Professor Lydia Azeto, proposed a partnership to enable the university to have a full-fledged vaccine research and development center.
We are very, very confident that we can work together for the good of the area of vaccine development in Ghana, and we hope that UHAS will continue to contribute to the healthcare or the health needs of Ghanaians and those from elsewhere. But personally, as a Vice-Chancellor, I'm calling on other partners to come and partner with us, because we have a very, 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 very great potential within the health space. We have attracted very, very good professors from across the world, and we have the necessary human resource and a peaceful environment for research work in the country.
The Chief Executive Officer of the National Vaccine Institute, Dr. Soji Tete, appreciated the progress of UHAS, asserting its crucial role in advancing Ghana's vaccine self-sufficiency.
In fact, our minds have been blown. They are doing a whole lot of breakneck research. They have started building up a laboratory which, when completed, will be the largest in West Africa. They also have a very advanced simulation lab at various stages of completion. And I think that it's impressive. And I'm hoping that more of the funders will come together, work with us to give UHAS the support that they need to be able to truly take things to the next level. Because it is unquestioned the level of human capacity that they have. And they need the support, be it from Get Fund, be it from the various funders, be it from the NVI's own initiatives. I think that we need to do a lot more to support UHAS in what is a very exciting project underway.
Representatives from the German Development Corporation, the European Union and UNIDO promised their support to advance UHAS's vaccine research and development capacity. Fred Kwakye-Ofosu, Joy News, Sokode Lokwe.
Now, the Ashanti Regional Minister, Dr. Frank Amakohene, has called for a comprehensive overhaul of the National Health Referral System to help reduce avoidable referrals to the Kwakye-Ofosu Teaching Hospital. He says by investing in district and regional hospitals, the pressure on teaching hospitals will ease. Dr. Amakohene has therefore assured of the operationalization of the Afari Military Hospital, Siwa Regional Hospital, and the KNUST Hospital to allow for Kwakye-Ofosu's renovation and expansion. Here is a report by Clinton Yeboah.
The Ashanti Regional Minister has asked the leadership of the Kwakye-Ofosu Teaching Hospital and the Regional Director of Health Services to develop an implementation model that deploys senior medical residents and consultants to collaborate with local facilities. Dr. Frank Amakohene said the government remains committed to bolstering healthcare across the region through decentralized specialized care. He was speaking at the launch of the 50th anniversary celebration of the School of Medical Sciences at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology.
Just word of mouth that by September we should be able to complete Afari Hospital. We need a regional hospital in Ashanti, just like we have the Ridge Hospital, that is the Greater Accra Regional Hospital. And to have that, you need to be able to complete the Siwa Regional Hospital. But what I see is that usually when cases come, the medical officers there are in a hurry to refer, so that they can go and attend to other things. I think that is not pleasant enough. So if you're a medical officer at any peripheral hospital and you are referring cases that you know for a fact that you have the facility to manage, then you are not being fair to the system. So I would liaise with you. We have to be able to map up the hospitals that do a lot of these referrals so that we can be able to put them to check. Because it is disheartening that you have beds, say at Konongo Government Hospital, then you refer someone to Kwakye-Ofosu where there are no beds.
For Joy News, my name is Clinton Yeboah.
You're watching News Today. We'll go for a quick break. When we come back, business, showbiz, and sports. Please stay.
Welcome back to Business here on JoyNews Today. My name is Winston Taki, and now to our first business story. Commissioner General of the Ghana Revenue Authority, Anthony Sapon, has assured of re-strategizing to ensure that the revenue target is met despite the repeal of some taxes from the system. Speaking to Joy Business after opening the GRA management retreat in Akosombo, Mr. Sapon expressed confidence that having the retreat will provide a platform for officers to energize and work to meet the target.
To pull back and to re-strategize, to reflect, and to look at all the areas that we need to do to be able to achieve this target. And in doing so, we're looking at areas in terms of compliance. How do we deepen the compliance in terms of our tax laws so that we can bring more people onto the tax net? How do we also ensure that those who are in it, we deepen their tax net and they pay on time? But also importantly, we are retreating on the theme Transforming for Impact, which means that if we are going to achieve our targets, we need to do some reforms. And these reforms will border on retooling, digitalization, ensuring that we build and implement the tools that will make us efficient. It's also ensure that when we are engaging with our taxpayers, we bring all the elements of customer-centric approach so that we can be cordial in our dealings with taxpayers. So we'll be looking at things like our behavior in terms of how we deal with the customers, but most importantly also our own behavior. GRA, we say be a first. First means we want to be fair, we want to behave with integrity, we want to be responsive, we want to provide service, and above all work as a team. And this is so important that as management together, we really look at these core values and ensure that in our everyday action, we drive ourselves by these values. And when we do that, we believe that together with our entire team as GRA, we will be able to deliver on our mandate of raising 220 billion tax revenue for national development for 2025.
Now from revenue, let's go to bauxite. The Ghana Bauxite Company Limited, GBC, is expanding its surface mining operations to mitigate the impact of its operations on the environment. The present drill and blast method is expected to ease to allow for surface mining, which has less negative effect on the environment. The Oforupoku Company Limited, after securing 80% shares in GBC, has invested $122 million into the company to improve efficiency and ensure environmental protection. Nanaya Jima was at the commissioning of a community relations office of the bauxite mine and has filed this report.
The drill and blast operations, which is largely used in the mining of bauxite, produces air and noise pollution which negatively impact the environment. Until the new administration took over the Ghana Bauxite Company, operations largely depended on drill and blast methods, with attendant risk. The new investments are shifting to the surface mining of bauxite as a more environmentally friendly operation. General Manager for Ghana Bauxite Company, Alexander Jedu, indicates the company is focused on minimizing the negative impacts of mining activities on the environment.
GBC's mine currently utilizes both surface mining and drilling and blasting methods. Our objective is to gradually reduce our reliance on drill and blast operations while expanding surface mining activities. This transition aims to enhance operational efficiency, reduce environmental impacts, enhance resource recovery, and reinforce our commitment to sustainability.
The transition of operations to surface mining has increased production volumes to 1.8 million tons in 2024 from 1.2 million tons per annum. A chunk of investments made in the company has focused on retooling.
And we project a further increase to 6 million metric tons by the end of 2025 through infrastructure improvements and operational efficiencies to meet our production target of 6 million tons per year. Ghana Bauxite has made substantial investments totaling about $122.8 million USD.
To enhance synergy between GBC and catchment communities, a community relations office has been opened to liaise between the catchment and the mine. Nana Kwakye-Ofosu is Seshibekwae Mahine.
The establishment of this office is a clear indication that the company values dialogue, community engagement, and sustainable development. It serves as a bridge between the company and the people.
For JoyNews, Nanaya Ojima reporting.
We have more news for you after this break. Stay tuned.